Something is happening right now that most people can't see, but everyone can feel. There's a shift, a cosmic shift, a divine acceleration. Call it a spiritual quickening. And it's not subtle, it's intense, it's palpable, undeniable to those who are paying attention. People feel restless in ways they can't explain. They have dreams that are vivid, intuition is sharper, old patterns are breaking faster. Things that used to work don't work anymore. What used to satisfy just feels empty. This isn't random. There's a divine orchestration at play. Jamaica is at a spiritual threshold, a cosmic crossroads, a prophetic moment that was written in the stars before the first person ever walked on the land. And what happens next, in the days, in the months, in the years ahead, will be determined by how people respond to the shift that's happening right now. Pay attention. Let's start with what people are actually experiencing. And if this resonates, it's confirmation that what's being revealed is truth. There's a restlessness that won't go away. People can't settle anymore. People can't get comfortable with what used to be acceptable. They can't go back to sleep once they've started waking up. It's like the soul is rejecting anything that's not aligned with truth, anything that's fake, low frequency, anything that's keeping them small. This restlessness isn't dysfunction, it's divine, pushing people out of complacency, out of comfort zones, out of old consciousness. They're having dreams that are carrying messages. People are dreaming intensely. They're having vivid dreams. The dreams aren't random. They're carrying meanings, warnings, guidance, downloads. The ancestors are speaking through dreams. The divine is communicating through the subconscious. The spiritual realm is pressing in through the veil of sleep. Those who are paying attention are receiving instruction. They're receiving direction. They're receiving revelation through their dreams. Their intuition is becoming undeniable. People are knowing things that they shouldn't know. They're sensing things before they happen and feeling truth in their spirit, even when logic says otherwise. This is divine discernment. Spiritual sight is opening. The inner knowing that transcends physical senses is coming online. And when the cosmic shift happens, intuition amplifies because the veil thins, the connection to source strengthens, and the spiritual downloads come faster. We have old patterns that are just breaking. Things people used to tolerate, they just can't tolerate anymore. Relationships that were comfortable are just suddenly suffocating. Jobs that were acceptable are suddenly intolerable. The ways of being that worked before suddenly feel like death. This isn't people being difficult. This is divine, dismantling what no longer serves, breaking what needs to be broken so something new can be built. The shift creates disruption, which can be uncomfortable, but necessary. Divine disruption that forces people to choose, stay in the old or step into the new. There's a pull toward something more. People feel drawn to meaning, to purpose, to something greater than themselves. They feel drawn to connection with the divine, with ancestors, with truth. The pull is so magnetic, so irresistible. It's like the soul recognizing its true home and being called back to it. This is the cosmic shift at work. The frequency is rising. The consciousness is elevating. Divine purpose is activating in individual souls. We see synchronicities multiplying. The right people show up at the right time. The right information appears exactly when needed. Things that seem like coincidence stack up so frequently, they can't be random. This is divine orchestration. The divine conspiring to align people with their purpose. Signs and confirmations that the shift is real and they're on the right path. So why is this happening? What's creating this cosmic shift? What forces are at work? The frequency of Earth is rising. This isn't just about Jamaica. The entire planet is going through a consciousness shift, a frequency upgrade. It's like an evolution. Old systems built on low frequency like greed, fear, control, separation, they're collapsing. They can't sustain themselves at the new frequency. And new systems built on high frequency like love, unity, truth, freedom, they're emerging. They're being birthed through awakened souls. Jamaica, as a frequency anchor, is feeling this intensely because the land holds high vibration naturally. The shift happening globally is amplified on the land. You have the ancestors moving. There's ancestral activation happening. The ones who came before, who fought, who resisted, who knew. They're pressing in from the spiritual realm. They're not passive observers. They're active participants. They're stirring things up. They're awakening their descendants and calling them to remember. They're empowering them to rise. The ancestors see what's possible. They see the destiny and they're not letting this generation sleep through it. They're creating divine disruption, uncomfortable awakenings, and necessary shifts because they know this is the time. This is the moment. This is the generation that can fulfill what they started. Jamaica's soul is calling. The land itself, the conscious, living soul of Jamaica, is actively calling its people to align. It's not passive. It's not waiting. It's demanding response. It's creating conditions that force people to choose. The soul of Jamaica is saying enough. Enough debasement. Enough low consciousness. Enough violation. Enough. And it's using its own spiritual power to create the shift, to raise the frequency, to make it uncomfortable to stay at low vibration. The land is activating, and those who are sensitive can feel it. In the air, in the water, in the soil. Something is alive and moving. The divine is accelerating timing. There's a sense that time is speeding up, that things are happening faster, that what used to take years is now taking months, that opportunities and consequences are coming quicker. This is divine acceleration. The universe compressing timelines, speeding up the process, creating urgency, because there's a window, like a prophetic moment, a season of possibility that won't stay open forever. The divine is pressing in and creating pressure, demanding response, forcing the shift because time is now. There's a timeline split occurring. This is profound. There are two possible futures, two timelines, and humanity and Jamaica specifically is at the point of divergence. One timeline shows continued descent into chaos, violence, poverty, consciousness, destruction, the old paradigm collapsing in on itself. The other timeline sees ascension into higher consciousness, divine purpose, collective power, manifestation of destiny, the new paradigm being birthed. And the split is happening now. People are choosing, consciously or unconsciously, which timeline they're aligning with through their consciousness, through their choices, through their frequency. Those who rise align with the ascending timeline. Those who stay in low consciousness align with the descending one. And eventually the two timelines will be separate. That those on one won't even be able to perceive those on the other. This is the cosmic shift. This is the choice. This is the moment. This isn't the first time Jamaica has been at this crossroad. But this time is different. This time it's prophetic. This time it's destined. This generation was chosen not by accident, not by chance. It's by divine design. The souls incarnated in Jamaica right now, they're there for a reason. They choose to be there. They agreed to this assignment before they were born. This is the generation that carries the potential to break every cycle, to fulfill every prophecy, to manifest the destiny that's been waiting. The ancestors couldn't do it. They laid the foundation. They created conditions. They fought the battles that had to be fought. But this generation, they're the ones positioned to actually complete it, to see the manifestation, to birth the new consciousness into form. That's why the shift is happening now. Because the right souls are in place, the right frequency is available, and the right timing has arrived. So the old must collapse for the new to emerge. What's happening now? The chaos, the breakdown, the systems failing. It's not the end, it's the labor pains. Before something new is born, something old must die. Before transformation happens, there must be dissolution. Before resurrection, there must be death. The old consciousness, the colonial programming, the poverty mentality, the division, the violence, it's dying. And it's fighting for survival. That's why things feel so intense. But it has to die. It must collapse. Because the new consciousness can't be built on a foundation of the old. The divine is dismantling the old, piece by piece, system by system, pattern by pattern, and making room for what wants to be born. And yes, it's uncomfortable. It's chaotic. Yes, it feels like everything is falling apart. But it's divine. It's necessary. It's the process. What wants to be born is extraordinary. On the other side of this shift, for those who align, for those who rise, who choose the ascending timeline, there's something extraordinary waiting. A Jamaica where people operate from unity, where collective consciousness is elevated, where the divine purpose is actively manifesting. A Jamaica where the land and the people are in harmony, where the covenant is restored, where the frequency is aligned. A Jamaica that becomes a model for the world, a demonstration of what's possible when people remember who they are and align with the divine. Prosperity, peace, power, creativity, joy, freedom, not as a distant dream, but as lived reality. You'll have protection, provision, guidance, clarity, purpose, not as rare exceptions, but as normal experience. This is what wants to be born. This is what the shift is creating conditions for. This is what's waiting on the other side of the choice. But it requires conscious participation. The shift is happening, but the outcome isn't predetermined. The manifestation of destiny isn't guaranteed. It requires people to consciously choose. It requires people to actively align, to intentionally rise. The divine creates the conditions, but humans have free will. They can align with the shift or resist it. They can ascend or descend, choose the new timeline or cling to the old. The cosmic shift is the invitation, it's the opportunity, it's the opening. But walking through the door is a choice. And that choice is being made right now in the daily decisions, in the consciousness people hold, in the frequency they operate from. Every thought, every action, every choice is either aligning with ascension or reinforcing descent. There's no neutral, no in between, only up or down. So, how do people align with the cosmic shift? How do they choose the ascending timeline? How do they participate in what the divine is doing? They need to recognize the shift is happening. First is awareness, acknowledgement that this is real, that the feelings, the dreams, the intuitions, the synchronicities, they're not random, they're divine. Stop dismissing what's being felt. Stop explaining away what's being experienced and recognize the shift for what it is. It's cosmic, it's divine, it's prophetic. You have to surrender to the dismantling. When old things break, relationships, careers, patterns, beliefs, don't fight to keep them alive. Let them go. Let them die. Let them be dismantled by the divine hand that's clearing space for the new. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting the process. Trusting that what's falling away needs to fall away. That the divine knows what it's doing. Elevate consciousness intentionally. The shift creates the conditions, but elevation requires participation. There's meditation, prayer, connection with ancestors, connection with nature, spiritual practice, consciousness work, choosing love over fear, unity over division, truth over lies, abundance over lack, purpose over meaninglessness. This is active work, intentional elevation, conscious rising. You have to listen to the inner voice. Intuition is amplified during cosmic shifts. The divine is speaking, the ancestors are guiding, the soul knows the way. But people have to listen. They have to trust what they're feeling even when it doesn't make logical sense. The path forward isn't figured out with the mind. It's revealed through the spirit, through the inner knowing that transcends logic. You have to align with those on the same path. The ascending timeline creates community. People who are aligning with the shift will find each other. This is divine orchestration. The universe bringing together those who are meant to build together, to rise together, to manifest destiny together. Don't try to drag those who aren't ready. Find those who are. Build with them. Create with them. Ascend with them. Ascend together. You have to embody the new consciousness. Don't just understand it. Don't just believe it. Become it. Live from the frequency people want to see manifested. Be the change. Embody the consciousness. Be the demonstration of what's possible. This is how the new world is birthed. Not through talking about it, through being it, through living it, through embodying it so completely that it becomes contagious. You have to trust the divine timing. Things are happening fast, but also at the perfect pace. Trust that what's meant to happen will happen at the right time, in the right way. Don't force, don't push, don't rush, don't panic when things don't move at the speed the mind wants. Trust the divine, trust the process, trust that the cosmic shift is unfolding exactly as it should. This is cosmic shift happening right now, in this moment, in the spiritual realm and breaking through into physical. Jamaica is at a threshold, a prophetic crossroads, a moment of divine choosing. And every person who feels the call, who senses the shift, who knows something is different, who can't go back to sleep, they're being invited to participate, to align with the ascending timeline, to rise in consciousness, to fulfill the destiny that's waiting, to birth the new world that wants to emerge. This is not a distant future. This is now. This is the moment. This is the generation. The ancestors are watching. The divine is pressing in. The land is calling. The shift is accelerating. And those who answer, those who align, who rise, who choose, they will be part of something so extraordinary, so profound, so divine, that it will rewrite everything people thought was possible. The cosmic shift is here. The question is, will people align with it? The choice is now. The shift is happening. The divine is waiting for a response. Will souls rise?